Okay. This is a response to Expanded Celt's recent video on anarchy 100% debunked, or 100% whatever. You've already gotten a few videos responding to your video, and I wanted to make my response, but I didn't want to be what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't want to be insulting, because I don't think I can change people's minds if I, call them names and stuff. Not that I'm against name calling. I mean, there's a time and a place for it. But I figure if I can persuade you, then maybe your mind, you'll obviously, if I persuade you, your mind is changed, and maybe you can persuade others, and the whole thing just, blossoms like a tree or something, or a flower, I guess. Trees really don't blossom, they grow. Anyway, so I think the major distinction that you need to make when referring to anarchists is that there is a difference between government and state. And any anarchist worth a damn is going to oppose the state and not necessarily government. And what the state is, and it's already probably been explained in any of the other videos, a state is a coercive monopoly over a certain area of land that is not tied to labor, meaning the United States of America, owns, the geographic area known as America, but they didn't necessarily do anything to own the land, right? They didn't work the land, they didn't cull it or whatever, they just sort of claimed the land, kind of like how Columbus, sailed to what is now, I think, the island of Haiti, or the Dominican Republic. He just plants his flag and says, "I claim this land for Spain." But he didn't really do anything to earn it. He didn't buy it from the inhabitants of the island. He, enslaved them and pretty much killed them all. So that's a state. That is a state. And government is simply the, generally defined as rules that govern something, right? The laws of physics, that's governing physics. So that's a distinction that you need to make when you're thinking about anarchism. And another thing is, I don't like the word anarchism to describe sort of the anti-state movement, but it's been used, so it's pretty much stuck. But you can call yourself anti-statist, anarchist, libertarian, even emergentists. Those are some of the words that are being used. But yeah, you need to realize that the state, or the government as you see it, is just a bunch of people. It's made up of people. And so when you say, who's going to build the roads without government? Well, there are people. And if people want roads, roads will be built. It's simple as that. A company can say, hey, you know what? There's a demand for roads in this area. So they'll build roads and say, hey, you want to drive our roads? You can either pay the toll, you can pay some sort of monthly fee. I'm sure there's a way to do it. There's already toll roads on the freeway where I live, the Fast Track 91 Express. You just put on a little transponder and you take the road, and hey, we'll charge you, $3.50 or whatever. So the roads are honestly a very easy solution when you think about it. It's just that when you go to a state-controlled education camp, or a school, a high school, they don't really teach you to think. They teach you what to think. So it's not surprising that most people think government is a good thing, or the state is a good thing, I should say. So, what else was I going to say? I'm drawing a blank. Oh yeah, war. I mean, if you're against war, then you should be against the state, because the state is pretty much the only way you can wage a full-on mega war, like millions of people dying. That's the only way you can wage total war. It's with a total state. And in a stateless society, where people can choose to govern themselves how they wish. You won't have as much of that, and I don't have a whole lot of time to go into that in just one video. But basically, government can wage big-ass wars because they can extract taxes from us. And taxes are involuntary. You don't have the option of not paying. I mean, you can choose not to pay, but you'll be thrown in prison and butt-raped for, however many years that is. So it's pretty much coercive. You have to pay your taxes, and then those taxes can go to buy nuclear weapons, or produce nuclear weapons, tanks, jets, guns, ammo, pay the troops' salary. And without taxes, then if you wanted to go to war, you would have to use your own money. Like, let's say some dude, let's say there's a warlord, right? Or let's say it's a state of society, and some guy wants to fight a war with some other guy. How's he going to pay for it? He's going to pay for it out of his own pocket. He's got to if maybe he owns a company, and he can, pay for the troops out of the company pot. But then war is expensive. War is expensive and highly unprofitable unless you have a large tax base. So wars would really be very small and would not last very long, if at all. Like, if you even have war in a state of society. I mean, there's a whole host of issues that people automatically assume government will take care of, but they don't. I think in the video you said that who's going to protect us from attacks? The government. I mean, when you look into the issue, actually, government. What's the word? Government endangers you more than it protects you. But I mean, just for instance, was the government able to protect the people in the World Trade Center on September 11th? No. Was the government able to protect the people in that federal building that Timothy McVeigh bombed? No. Was the government able to protect Pearl Harbor? No. They attacked time and time again. Were they able to protect the USS Cole when it was bombed by some Al-Qaeda operatives? No. Could they protect us now? If some guy really wanted to, commandeer a jet and blow it up. I mean, it's been proven over and over again that the TSA can't even prevent bombs from reaching an airplane, They've done tests, or what's the word, screenings, not drills, I guess, where they send in a TSA guy or an FBI guy, I don't remember, but they send him in with a mock bomb, and he gets through. And that's with the TSA having knowledge beforehand that this was going to happen. So, you aren't safe because of the government. You're in danger because of the government, because they take your rights away to own and operate weapons freely. They anger foreign nations, which then attack us. Or not nations, I should say, because I don't think we've been attacked by other nations, but there's hostility, and then the whole Al-Qaeda thing was because we support Israel. We're pro-Israel, and then if we're pro-Israel, you're obviously anti-Muslim, I guess. Anyway, this has gone on a bit long. So yeah, I'll put some links in the sidebar if you're intellectually curious at all about this stuff. You really should read this stuff and find out as much as you can, because this is life-changing, eye-opening stuff. And right now you're kind of mired in the statist fog that a lot of people are in. And so when you really understand, when you strip away the ignorance of the ignorance that's taught in schools, you'll open your eyes and hopefully see the light.